Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Match Ranker back again with another ranking, and today we are doing a ranking for the Lost in the Cloud characters. Yeah, so we just did a review for Lost in the Cloud. I'm starting to get into manga slash reading territory with these reviews. And so yeah, we are going to be doing a ranking for the characters of the manga. And surprisingly, I wasn't actually able, I thought I would have to make a tier list, but I did actually find a pre-made one, so shout out to whoever made this tier list. Is it written here? I always forget if they write it here, but maybe this guy, if it's that guy, then shout out to that guy. Yeah, so we are just going to get into this. I do have like the names here, but it's not all the names. Like the anime clan doesn't have like all the actual characters written here, but it has a decent amount of characters names written. So, and it's a Korean like story, so it is like all the names are pretty much in Korean, so it's going to be a bit difficult. I'm going to probably butcher some of them, as well as I'm just going to forget probably a lot of the names of the characters, so I apologize for that. But anyway, first up we have Candy. Candy, I'll go C for Candy. It's like another, I always say this about the pet characters, it's like the pet characters I never really care for too much of them, like unless they're like directly impacting the story somehow. I don't usually care for the pet characters, but I thought Candy was like fine. I'm not going to say D/ up here, but C tier. She was basically the one that helped Cyrus through like all his hard times before he ended up like getting with Skylar, I guess. So shout out to Candy for that. Next up we have Cyrus, the main character. Arguably, if it's not, did I say Skylar? Their names are kind of similar. This is Cyrus. He is the main character besides Skylar of the manga, and I would give him probably A tier. I thought he was very good. The only really like fault that I have with him is that he acts too paranoid sometimes. It does end up just causing problems for not just him, but like the people around him. So that one fault of his, like I know obviously the paranoia stems from like childhood trauma and stuff, so obviously it's not completely his fault, but even so, he just, for that reason, I'm gonna say A tier. Even so, he's like very good. I do think the manipulative nature of him is very fun to read about, and I feel very bad for him. Like he really had, like, out of all the characters here, he has like the worst backstory, I guess, out of all the characters, so definitely an A tier, I would say. Next is Minwoo. I think that's his name, right? This is Minwoo. This is the friend of, let me just see here that I'm getting the name right. Yeah, Minwoo. So this is the original, this was Skylar's best friend in his old town, and then Skylar ends up getting drunk. He tries to kiss him, and then Minwoo was like so disgusted by it that eventually he actually tries to like give him a second chance by saying like, by trying to trick him basically to see if he's like, really gay or not. And so he sees that he is actually gay, and so he is pretty homophobic about it, and then just bullies him relentlessly, as well as just makes his life a living hell with Skylar. And then and so that is what is, that's what's with his character. So I'm gonna give him C tier. I'm not going to use the second tier. I don't homophobia, obviously not good. Any of that stuff is really bad, but I'm going to say C tier because I do like the impact that this character has. If the character has a strong impact, then I will be generous and not give them D/ tier. So I did like the impact of this character, even if, okay, not to say if they have a strong impact then they're a good character, because there is another character here which if you read the manga you probably know who I'm gonna get to, but yeah, I like the impact that his character had. It just not D/ up here because I think that his impact was good for, okay, this is hard to explain. Certain impacts are better than others. Like bullying impact is, I guess, fine compared to another character, which we'll get to, that has a bad impact, but in a bad way that I didn't like. Makes me not like the character because of impact. Like obviously the bullying and the homophobia is also bad, but I know we're giving him C tier. We're giving him C tier. Next up we have Chan-il. Chan-il is definite S tier. Yeah, what's his full name? His full name is like he's listed as a secondary character. Chan-il Seong. He is the one that Skylar initially has a crush on, and then so Skylar takes pictures of him, and so Cyrus ends up finding it out, and then that is what leads to the actual plot of the story of like the blackmail and all that stuff. I think Chan-il is great. I think he is like morally the best, most positive character that there is in the actual manga. Like he is very, like when Skylar moves to the school and it's like Skylar's no friends, Chan-il like reaches out to him, as well as Cyrus. When Cyrus like also doesn't have any friends, Chan-il reaches out to him. So he's honestly just like the morally probably the best character on this list. Very great, very nice, and he, even like when he thinks that Rin might be cheating on him, he still like doesn't bring it up because he doesn't want to like show that he doubts her. So I think that honestly is just my favorite character, I would say, probably. I think, we'll get through all the characters, but I think that I'm saying, looking now, I think he's probably my favorite character S tier. So now this is probably my least favorite character. I think this is the teacher that ended up molesting Cyrus when he was a child. So this is what I was talking about, of an example of a large impact that is bad, but in a case that I don't like. So at least like Minwoo, it was like kind of, I don't know, like not good, but I don't know. He didn't sink that low. I really don't know how to defend my choices for this, but yeah, I can like morally bad characters, but you know, when that morally bad character is like molester, then definitely we are not going to be giving them higher than D/F tier, I would say. So yeah, so he like was helping out Cyrus, which was good at first, and then he shows his true colors, and then he does what he does to Skylar in the library, and it is one of the main reasons for all of Cyrus's childhood trauma and stuff. So obviously, terrible character, D/F tier, don't like him. Yeah. This is, I don't remember who this is. I think this is either one of Skylar's family members. I don't know if it's his mom. No, okay, I think this is Skylar's sister, and I think maybe this is his mom. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Does anyone else here look like it could be Skylar's mom? Let me see here. Could be her, maybe, actually. I'm not sure. Let me see here. Should be here, Skylar's mom. Crap. Didn't mean to do that. Let's see here. Why? Okay, my mouse is acting, my trackpad is still not really working the best, so I do need to get a new computer at some point. I think this is Skylar's mom. I'm not sure, but we're just gonna say it's Skylar's mom. I'll give her a B tier. She's a good mother. She like tried to help out Skylar through all of his trauma and like all the stuff he was going through. She was always there for him, which was good, and so definitely B tier for that case. So yeah. Next up, we have Raccoon. I forgot his name, but his name is, they call him like Raccoon as a nickname because he ends up getting the tan lines over his face. Guillaume, yeah, Lee. Once again, I'm butchering these names probably, but even so. Raccoon, I like Raccoon. I'm just gonna call him Raccoon because he's got the raccoon tan lines on his face, and that's what they call him. So I'll give him B tier. I think B tier. He was a good character. He was probably out of all the friends of Skylar and Cyrus and like that whole friend group, he was one of the most entertaining ones, I'll say. So I'll give him B tier. He was fun. Yep. Rian, I will go A tier. The only real complaint about her I have is that I just kind of wish we saw more of her. She was a nice character. She had a nice relationship with Chan-il, which Cyrus kind of orchestrated in order for Skylar to give up on Chan-il. So, but I thought she was a good character. She was nice. I liked the relationship moments between her and Chan-il, as well as I liked the friendship, I guess, that she had with Cyrus. And yeah, overall, I just kind of wish we saw more of her. So for that reason, I'm not giving her S tier, but definitely A tier. Skylar, I'm going to give him, I guess, A tier? I'm thinking maybe S tier, but I'm just going to be a bit harsher now and just say A tier. I thought he was a great lead character. I think I kind of liked I liked Skylar a bit more than Cyrus as the lead character. Yeah, his trauma was very, his trauma was like before we saw Cyrus's trauma, so I thought that it was very, I'm not going to like compare their traumas because it kind of feels like a fucked up thing to do, but I do like his backstory, and I do think that his character progression and like the way he acts, I like the moments that he has with Cyrus, like when they're not getting along and stuff, and how he's in this position he is, like, because, and he doesn't want to be, but even so he's like kind of, he ends up like kind of growing close to Cyrus, even if like he is being blackmailed by him and stuff. And I think that overall he is a great character. A tier, I would say, very good lead character for the manga. And so A tier, especially like towards the end when he does end up like he's the one that's going after Cyrus, instead like the roles kind of get flipped. Where at the start it's like Cyrus is constantly trying to get close to Skylar, but then eventually it's like Skylar's trying to get close to Cyrus and stuff. So I thought that was a nice little parallel, I guess, kind of, not exactly, but yeah. A tier I'm gonna go with. Next up, this is, I don't know who this is, I think, the brother of Rian, and he is just someone that I think watched Cyrus's dog temporarily. Yeah, I think he watched over Candy for a bit, so I don't really have any thoughts about him. This is Dong Sik, D tier, we'll go, yeah. He, caused some of the problems between Cyrus and Skylar, kind of, I mean, he was trying to steal from Skylar, and he was, like, mooching off of Skylar, and he ended up causing like Skylar and Cyrus to initially break up after they started dating. And so, not a great character. He's like he tries to pretend to be like Skylar's friend and stuff, but it's all with like the veil of trying to like get revenge on Cyrus. So yeah. Is this the teacher? I think this is the teacher, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the teacher of the students, and I will give him, I'm gonna go C tier. Like he's a fine character, just doesn't really do much except for he's pretty forgetful. He just like is the teacher. He's meant to play the role of like being concerned for the students and their performances and stuff, and asking like what's really going on and stuff. So it's a very standard, like we've seen this character type before, and there's not really much that he brings new to the table. So I'm just gonna say C tier. This is another one of Skylar and Cyrus, and that a friend of like that old friend group. So I'm gonna give him. I'll go next to Raccoon. Like I think they are very similar. They're like both kind of just like friends of part of the friend group, kind of. He apparently is like really good at math. He ends up helping out Skylar like with math that he has trouble with, and he is they're both like good friend characters, but just B tier. Yeah. So I think this is one of Skylar's old friends, or no, this is one of Skylar's old friends. I don't know who this is then, so they look identical. Yeah, I'm just gonna give him D tier. This is Skylar's old friends, who I'm also gonna give D tier because yeah, he wasn't. I forgot the whole thing. He was just like, I don't want you being near Cyrus because he like I saw him like being like really like he saw him push. He saw Skylar. No, sorry. Again, similar names. This character saw Cyrus push Dong-sik downstairs when they were kids, and so from that he's like, okay, I don't want you being friends with him because I've seen like his true colors, I guess, or something like that. So, but even so, like he just kind of like I think that's his only role in the story. He's like he's kind of Skylar's friend, and then he kind of distances himself from Skylar, and then he just that's the only thing that he does in the story. So. I don't know who this guy is. I think he was just a guy that I think he ran the 3-legged race with Cyrus, but that's the only thing he did, so I don't really care for him D tier. I think this is Skylar's sister, and I don't really care for her. Like the mother kind of, it feels like Skylar's mom like actually does more so to help out Skylar compared to the sister, where the sister she's like concerned and stuff, but she doesn't really do anything to help out. Usually it feels like so. This is Cyrus's father, and this is like the only shot that they got of him where he actually looks happy. Every single shot of this man. Okay, second, okay, I don't know why all these shots are of him looking happy. Like, there's no point in the story where he actually, I think this was in the past when, like, when Cyrus's mother was still alive, but yeah, this man is, like, just depressed throughout the entire story, and he hates Cyrus for some reason. Like, he has a grudge against Cyrus, even though, you know, Cyrus was a child. It's like, I guess Cyrus, he was, like, annoyed that he was having, like, that he had a new mother and stuff, so, because of that, yeah, his father, like, kind of, like, at first his father, I think, cared for him, and then it's like the mother died, and then for some reason he was like, I wish it was Cyrus that died. So yeah, it's a really messed up thing to do as a father, and as well as like he's never home. He yeah, just overall not a great person. So I'll go C tier, but once again, it's similar to Minwoo. I do like the impact he kind of has in the story. Like I do like the, you know what it is? I think it's the ties to the characters. I think both Minwoo and Baek, I think his name is, yeah. So they have good. Why does this keep happening? Okay, now the separate views. My trackpad is like not working well these days. So, but yeah, so I think Minwoo and Baek, they both have like ties to the main characters, which I think it's interesting when it's like those ties end up like they go that like the relationship. It starts off good, but then it's like they end up going bad. I think that's like an interesting thing to happen, which is fine being C tier. I guess you could say the same thing about like Cyrus' teacher, but I feel like I don't know, the close bond wasn't there as much. I think the whole arc with the teacher spanned like only 1 or 2 chapters, something like that. So. Yeah, anyway, this is, I don't know who this is. I think this is one of I think, like, these 3 are probably Skylar's. Okay, I think pretty much all the people here, except for this is Chanel's mother. Chanel's mother, I'll give her, like, C tier. She was fine, like, for the brief chapter that she was in. Like, she just kind of was meant to show off that Chanel has a better familial relationship compared to Cyrus, so. But yeah, I think the rest of, okay, this one and this one definitely, they are definitely stepmothers that Cyrus had. I don't remember who these 2 are. I'm assuming one of these is actually Cyrus's mom when she was alive. And I think this might be Cyrus's aunt. I don't remember. Let me see if I can find, let me see if there's anyone that looks similar to her. No, I don't think it's Skylar's mother, but I don't know. I'm gonna assume this is like Cyrus's aunt, and if so, I'll give her like C tier. I thought she was like the only kind of supportive person in Cyrus's family. But she's just not in the story too much for me to rank her higher. And the rest of these are, I think, just Cyrus's parents. So not parents, like step parents. So and they were all pretty bad. They were all, I think, just trying to leech off of Baek's money. So for that reason, you know, gold diggers not good. So yeah. Anyway, we can do side style, I guess, for all the tiers because there's none that are longer than 2 rows, I guess. So. I don't think we'll do it for the D/F tiers, except we'll put him, I guess, in last place because, yeah, he was terrible. But besides that, we will do for C tiers. Let's see for the C tiers. So, who is my favorite here? Probably the teacher, and then Candy, and then Minwoo, I'll say, and then Baek, and then Chanel's mother, and then I guess if this is Cyrus's aunt, then her last, yeah. So now the B tiers, I will go, I'll go Raccoon, and then this guy, I don't remember his name, and I tried to find his name, but I cannot remember what, I'd have to like go through the manga, try to find the chapter. There was a chapter where I think the creator mentioned what his name was along with the rest of the friend group, but I don't remember what chapter that was, and it is very difficult to find information online about specific manga, because especially if they're like not mainstream or something like that, it's difficult to find names. So anyway, Raccoon's friend, and then Skylar's mother, and then for the A tier, Chanel, my favorite. S tier definitely. For the A tiers, I'm gonna go. I think Skylar's my favorite, then Rian, and then Cyrus is last. So yeah, yeah, that is my ranking for the Lost in the Cloud characters. So if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, manga, web series, I'm still getting used to this new outro. I added manga, so it's like kind of messing with the flow a bit, but let me try that again. Yeah, that is pretty much all there's to it. So if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, manga, web series, I guess also webtoons, like webtoons also counts as manga, but I'm only doing reviews for stuff that's like actually conclusive. So the ongoing stuff, I'm not going to be doing a review for the ongoing stuff because it's ongoing. So like this is like a conclusively done story, and it's been done for like a few years. So I'll do manga reviews for like the stuff that's actually concluded and finished. Yeah, so web series and manga / webtoons, I guess, web series. Anything that you want me to review or rank or compare rankings, it does not have to be media related. It can be anything. Leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. But that said, that is pretty much all there is to it. So let's leave it at that.